Okay. So today that I'll keep that continuations of the commitments of the mind training. So as last time we talked about the mind training, the commitments. So it is very important to keep the commitments of the mind training. So commitment is like something you are following the rules. So very properly the rules. So that's why especially for the mind training practitioners. So we have to keep these old commitments. So one thing that always the people are having a misunderstanding about the commitments. So that the commitments that there are things that misunderstanding that when you follow the rules, you don't have the freedoms. That is the misunderstanding or the misconception about the freedom. That the misconception that there is that freedom means doing your own things. Freedom means doing your own things. That is the one of the the conception about the freedom. So that's why that it's important to understand that the commitments and the rules which helping us that get better. It's helping us to reach our goal. It helps us to reach the goal. So there is a boy flying a kite with his dad. So there is a boy, he's flying the kite with his father. And he asked his father that what keep the kites up. The father replied that because of sting. Then the boy said that the sting, it's holding the kite back. It not letting the kite go up. Then what the father did is that the father just broke the sting. When the father broke the sting, you know what will happen to the kite. Because this is something like that, the commitments and the rules are like the sting. So it is helping us that our practice gets better. So that's why it's very important to keep all these commitments. So now you can see that as the last time we are talking about the commitment of 16, the last commitments of the mind training. It says that you can see in the text, it says that don't seek others' misery as the crutches of your own happiness. Don't seek misery of on the happiness. So that's the thing that one thing, the important thing is here. It said that what he's saying is that we should not look. What he is saying that we should not look others' unhappiness as the source of your others' unhappiness to the source of your happiness. So it means that what he's saying that we should not look at the others. We should not look at the others' suffering or the others' pain to source of our happiness. What he's saying that lots of people, when they see the suffering of the others, they will feel happy. Because of when you see the others' unhappiness, when you see the others' fails, that we started to feel happy. We are enjoying the seeing of the others' failure. We are enjoying that seeing the sufferings of the other. So it quite happens. happens a lot. So that's why it's a happening, that because of the mainly reason it's happening because of the selfishness. When you're too selfish. So that's why when you say selfish, and you cannot see the success of the other. Whenever you see the success of the other, you will start to feel the unhappy because of your selfishness. Because of your selfishness, you will enjoy, you will feel happy or happy to see the pains of the other. So that's why it's saying that when you are practicing the mind training, you should not be happy seeing the sufferings of the other. You should not enjoy when you see the others the feeling. So that's why it's a very important that all the time that you should reminding that yourself that you should not enjoy the sufferings of the other. You should not be happy to see someone's pain. Okay, so that's the point. So that's now you can see that that is one the commitment of the mind training. So you see that don't seek others' misery as the crutches of your own happiness. You should not see that the others misery as your seek their own happiness. Okay, so that is the today. Then we have finished up till that now the commitments of the mind training. So now after that we will have the precepts that we talked about, the precept of the mind training. They are the 22 precepts of the mind training. Before going to the precept, so today I thought that I will leave some of the questions, answer sessions. If you have any questions, you can raise the question if you have any questions. Any questions? If you have any question, you can turn on the video so we'll know that you're having a question. Yeah. What I thought is that so today that we have finished up till the 6th point there. So now we left only the 7th point. So that's why I thought that today I will leave for the questions for some minutes. Okay, go on. Yes. Yes. Any questions? Yeah, okay. So maybe you have to unmute when you're having the question. Can you turn on video and raise your arm so that we will know that you will have the questions? Yeah, if you don't, yeah. Okay, so unmute. Can you unmute them? Yeah. Yes.
I had a question.
Okay.
If you can hear me.
Yes.
What does it mean when the teachings say don't let them become a travesty? What does that mean specifically?
Don't let
the 7 points of mind training become a travesty.
Travesty. I see. That's just 1 second. Is that in the commitments of the mind training, or it's a which point? It's in the which point?
And commitments. One of the 3 basic principles.
I see. Don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Travesty is that it means that when you are practicing the mind training. So mind training practice is mainly to don't bring that mind training practice is to makes you do the more things that doing something very unnecessary things, because the mind training practitioner, mostly the one you're practicing the mind training, what you have to do is that you have to be more bring you more, the simple makes you more calm. But sometimes when you are practicing the mind training, sometimes the practitioner, they will bring the practice and make the more nuisance to the nuisance. So that means that it means that don't bring the practice to make us a nuisance.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes that you can see that some of the practitioner, sometimes they will not think that whether it's a disturbing others or not. When you're practicing, you will try to practice that you want to do the practice, and you will not care whether you are making the disturbance to the other. So it's saying that when you practice a Dharma, also don't make your practice to the nuisance or the disturbs the other. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If you don't have any questions, so now then I will give you some homeworks. Okay. So now up till that, what we have is that we have finished. So up till the 6 point of the 6 points. 6 points of the mind training. As before, I told that whoever joined for this hour, the 6 point of the mind, 7 point of the mind training. So what you have to do is that at least you have to practice the 5 minutes that practice for at least 5 to 10 minutes daily. So now what you have to do is that the homework that I want you to write some of your experience of your experience of the practicing the mind training, meditating or the mind training. You should write some your experience. So what you have to write is sometimes the practice is something like that, or when you close your eyes and when you try to practice, you might feel that you are practicing. But in the reality, when you're trying to write down, then you will know very clearly that whether really you practice well or you are not practicing at all. You're just pretending the practice. So that's why in this now, what will we do is that we finish up to the 6 point of the mind training. So next 2 weeks, we don't have the class. So in the next 2 weeks, I will leave you to look at your practice and write down. Okay, note down whatever you have to practice. Okay, and especially the few things you have to write down. Okay, number one what you have to write down is that in this 2 weeks, how many times you go against of the mind training commitments? How many times you go against of the mind training commitments? Whenever you go against the mind training commitments, you have to write down. Okay. And the second thing is that you have to write down that how many times you are succeed to control over your negative emotions, like anger, like a jealousy or the selfish or whatever. So negative emotion, how many times you succeed to overcome or to control your negative emotions. Okay, that is the second thing you have to write down. Okay, then the third thing is important. There's a third thing that as I mentioned the last time, what you have to write down. The third thing is then in these 2 weeks. I think I told you last time, in these 2 weeks, that what you have to write down is that how many hours or how many minutes that you have spent with being as unhappy, or spent the time with being unhappy or stressed. Okay, in 2 weeks, that you have to run the 3 points. Okay, am I clear what you have to write in this? Okay, clear, no? Okay, so in this now, from now on the 2 weeks, we don't have the class, and I want to give you the homework. Okay, homework. What homework you have to do is you have to not only write down, you have to practice, and then you have to write down. Okay, 3 points. Okay, yeah, am I clear with the 3 points? Okay, now I already forgot that what I told you, the 3 points. Okay, if you remember, that's quite good. Okay, that's very good. Okay, so that's a very important in this 2 weeks. Then so once you write down, then you will know that how's your practice is going on, how's you are spending your life, how's your life, because we don't look at our life, that how we spend our life, how we live. We don't look at that. We only trying to find the way, something that the more to achieve the more things, consume the more things. We always think that way. We always look into that to get things more, consume more. So that is but we are not look ourselves at how we live. So that's why these all the 3 points, when you write, then you will clearly see that how you are living, how's the way you are living. So then you can change. If you feel you are not living very rightly, you can change, especially the third point. It's a very important that you look back, and when you have to look at yourself, how daily, how many minutes you are spent with being unhappy, how many minutes you are spent with the feeling the very stress, feeling the very angry. So that's you have to look, okay? And also you have to look at how many times that you can control, how many times you get success controlling over the negative emotion, anger or the jealousy or like this negative emotions. So if you can see that yourself, you can control very well, then very good. Then that means you are the very good practitioner. If you see yourself that you cannot control it at all, so that means that your life is out of the control. So that's the second point. Third point, look at the 18 commitments and see that how many times you go against of these commitments, okay? 18 commitments, okay? So, okay, for now the 2 weeks, we will not have the class, and the 2 weeks, 3 points, okay? These 3 points, you have to look yourself and write down, okay? Every day, make a note, okay? Make a note and write down, okay? That is making a note is something like a diagnosing your mental status, okay? It is more like a diagnosing your mental health, okay? Physically, people, everyone, physically, the diagnosing the doctor will do. The mental, the diagnosing your mental health, that only you can do, okay? So that's why you can have the diagnosis that you are mentally living healthy or not, mentally you're healthy or not, okay? So that is diagnosing, okay, for the 2 weeks, okay? Am I clear? Okay, great, okay, thank you. Now, to the 2 weeks, we will not have the class. 2 weeks is a more like you have to diagnosing your mental health, okay, diagnosing, okay? So that's why the write down, okay, all these 3 points, write down for the 2 weeks. Then after the 2 weeks later, then we will have the session again. That means the 2 weeks max on October 22nd, okay? On the October 22nd, we'll have the session again. Then if you feel that's the sharing the report with me, then I will read that. If you feel it's very personal, then you don't have to, okay? If you want to, you can share with me, then I can give you some tips and I can guide you that what practice and what kind of the practice will be more effective for you, okay? Okay, thank you, okay? Then today we'll stop here. Now carry on that, okay? Writing down, okay? Keep on the practice for 2 weeks, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.